Well, there's so much advice about safety for solo sailors, and I've taken some on board and invented some of my own. But what I thought I'd do is just take you through what I use as a solo sailor to keep me safe on my yacht. So this is Mystique, which is a 37-foot Beneteau Evasion. And the first thing that you can see is the grab line that goes from the forward of the boat to the rear. And you can see it there, it's just sort of trailing above the waterline. And lots of people say, well, you know, why use a last ditch line and all that kind of thing, because you'll never grab hold of it above 3 knots, which is probably true. But if it's not there, you've got nothing to grab hold of. So it's all a case of having options. I don't have a line trailing behind the boat, and I'll show you the reason why in a moment. But in addition to the grab line that I've got there, I've also got a clip on, you can see at the front. So if I do go to the front, I can clip on. I should be clipped on anyway, but there's a spare there. There's a set of lazy jacks that runs from the front to the back of the boat, and those blue lazy jacks there are without interruption. So there's no way that they can get snagged or anything like that, or get halfway along and then you have to unclip. The lazy jacks run completely front to back. What else have I got that's interesting? Yeah, so I've got 2 preventers. I've got a sliding preventer there. You can see the blue line going through the shackle. That stops a accidental jibe. But even so, I've got 2 fixed line preventers as well. This one here, which runs to the back cleats and also on the other side, so I can actually lock the boom completely. And as a solo sailor, that's really important to be able to do that. You can see my spray hood here, and behind the spray hood actually there is a canopy that's not fitted today because it's so sunny. I took it down. But what the canopy does, it prevents my head popping up above the level of the boom there. So when I'm sailing, I can't actually stick my head above the parapet, if you like, and get my head knocked off by the boom, because the canopy is there. So that's another safety measure. You can see at the back there I've got 2 more clip-ons. And behind that you can see that there is a rail, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about the rail in a minute. Here I'm at the back of the boat, and you can see here that I've got this stainless goalpost at the back, and that's really important to me because it provides a fixed stop from falling over the back. Obviously I've got the dinghy on, but that doesn't make much difference. It really is having that physical bar there. You could say, well, okay, you've got these swan necks here, but I've actually seen one of my learned colleagues, when I was doing my day skipper, go over the back because the pin was not all the way through. Even though it was closed, it was jammed and the pin wasn't all the way through. He leant on the back and went straight over the back. Luckily we're on a training boat, and we did a man overboard before we even started our day skipper training. So never rely on leaning on a gooseneck, because they are absolutely fatal if you're a solo sailor. Also at the back of my lines that run forward and aft on the boat, I've actually got a pull ladder, so that's to enable me to get back on the boat. But remember the lines down the side of the boat, they enable me to put my foot on those and to get a purchase to be able to get over the rail as well, or at least to work myself to the back of the boat in this little space here and then back onto the boat. And of course I've got life jacket, and my life jacket has got a personal locator beacon in it as well, so if I do go overboard, that gets triggered automatically by water and tells my position. But also when I'm out at sea, I've always got my radio clipped on as well. If the weather is bad, I've always got that clipped to my life jacket, just as a matter of course, in addition to the ship's radio, of course. But that's another safety measure. So if I do go overboard, I've got a floating VHF. And of course, this is in addition to my Seago life raft, which you can see tucked there, my grab bag, the yellow, my flares, and survival kit that's in that grab bag. And interestingly enough, the Seago life raft is a 6-man life raft, and it's been tested and serviced by Seago. Interestingly enough, in European waters, if you are boarded by the maritime police, they will actually check your the validity of your life raft service. So if it's out of date, you're going to get a fine, and you're going to have to get it serviced before you can leave the port that they are assigned to. So it's worth getting it done for safety and also for aggro. And of course, the other piece of kit is my horseshoe lifesaver aid as well, with 30 plus meters. I think it's more than that actually. I think it's about 40 meters of cording with a light on top, and that flashes and things like that. Obviously, if I'm on board on my own, then that's no good, is it? Because there's nowhere to throw it to. But remember, I've got 2 cats on board, so if I do actually have a cat go overboard, I can throw that to them. But I have actually got as well some other aids that I can throw on a line to the cats if they do fall overboard. And one of the sayings is never take your life jacket off until you're in the bar. Well, that's as practical as you want to make it. But just to relay a little bit of a sad story on my journey here, when I was at Porto in Portugal, in the Douro Marina, I was moored up there and heard some commotion about 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and it was the maritime police, because the yacht that had come in an hour before, the lady had gone to sign in, the French gentleman had been left on board mooring his boat up, and sadly had fallen overboard and was never seen again, even though he was at the marina all set to go. He had no way of getting back on board because he couldn't alight his boat. He had no ropes or ladders or anything like that, and also the dock of the pontoon was just too aggressive for him to get back on, is what they thought. But that poor gentleman lost his life by falling off in the marina. So one hand for the boat, one hand for you, and keep safe. Hey Ralph. So Ralphie the Maine Coon's got his eye on the fish down there. You can see, look, Ralph's eyeing up that bird. If I was a bird expert, I'd tell you what it is, but he's certainly got his eye on it, look. He's got his stalking head on, look. And out on deck underneath the spray hood, I've got a 12 volt power supply there, and that's for convenience, but also as a safety measure to keep my iPhone and my iPad topped up in case I lose my chart plotter power. And obviously I've got Navionics on that as well, on both of those, so I can always switch to that if I get into a problem. Another thing that you may find interesting in my fridge here, I've got blocks in the freezer, and also I've got 2 large bottles of water. And you think, why is that so interesting? It's because when I do actually have to turn my fridge off to save my 12 volt, then the bottles of water and those ice blocks, they will keep my fridge cold for about 3 days in refrigerator temperature. So it's really useful to store your water in your fridge to maintain that reservoir of cold, if you like, for a few days before you get back into the marina, or you can safely turn on your fridge with a full battery of 12 volt to run your fridge motor. So a couple more things. I've got a spare starter battery there, which is fully charged up. So if I have a problem starting the engine and I've lost all my battery power to start, then I've got that fully charged. I've got a set of jump leads, and I've got this magic box here, which is a boost starter that'll start a Caterpillar tractor. It's that powerful. So between those there and also the starter battery, plus underneath the seat here I've got a 680 amp hour lithium battery that's not connected up. So if I do run into a problem, I can always hook that up as well. What do you think, Ches? Ches and the cat's investigating, look. So old Ralph's having a lovely time on his high shelf there, and I thought I'd just give you a bit more on safety that I carry inside. So always a chart of where you're going to. So I'm actually at Sines and I'm heading down to Tangier, so I shall plot that to get the bearing and also the distance, and also to look at safe havens as well on the way. To support that, if I ever have a problem with my chart plotter or Navionics, then I've got my compass and backup Navionics on iPad, protective cover to keep everything dry. I've also got a pilot book as well, so that's really important to have, because I've used a pilot book when I'm coming into marinas and that at night. It gives you a lot of pointers as to what to look for, what lights are, what geographical or points of interest there are as you approach. You know, like there's a great big tower on the left, so keep to the right. I've got my binoculars for eyeballing from a distance which way I'm going. They've been ideal because when you're looking for these things in the middle of the sea and there's a swell, you don't always see the markers. So it's a good idea to have a pair of binos so that you can look and see the markers as you approach. Health, if you like. I've got some ProPlus caffeine. That's if I'm sailing overnight, and I pop a few of those to keep me a bit more alert. They help. Motion sickness or sea sickness. Imagine being chronically seasick when you're a solo sailor. No, there's nobody there to save you, so that's preventative. And then I've got here, move the cup of tea, I've got here my weather plan. It's not a passage plan, it's a weather plan, and it shows here that I'm going to go 1 to 3 days to Tangier from where I am at the minute. I'm calling in at VHF 11 when I get there. I've got my bearing written down as well, and it shows there by time 7 o'clock in the morning through to 12 o'clock at night, what the wind's doing at various times, in which direction the wind is blowing, the swell, anything significant on the tide. There's no significant tide values on this passage, but ordinarily I'd write down the tide direction and strength. Also, am I in day or am I in night as well? So I just plot this little hatched area there that says it's dawn and it's dusk, and in the middle is complete blackness. And by the way, that's a Sunday, and you can see I've done that for my 3 days. So with that in all, and my pilot book, plus my chart plotter that's out there on the helm, I've got everything that I think that I need to ensure a safe passage, in addition to all the hardware things that I showed you earlier. Just a few more things. It's really important to have a kit bag that you take up on the helm. So mine's got dry tissue for cleaning my glasses. It's got, you know, head covering there when it gets cold. It's got a snood that goes around my neck. It's got a pair of headphones there for a bit of kind of in-sail entertainment. I've got my complete 100% waterproof gloves as well with a fur lining. They are great. I've got my knife as well for cutting anything away, and I've used that a couple of times when the wind's got up and I've had to cut down the the canopy above the cockpit. So yeah, as well as all of this stuff, it's great to have your kit bag with everything in it, as well as a food provision bag, and of course, being a Brit, I've got a flask of tea, and that's all important.